Hello YouTube, how you doing? Price Down Mall here again with the RC390 and the Coober exhaust. Okay, finally got to it or some time to be able to do this for you guys. So I'm taking the endeavor today and trying to get this installed. Hopefully it's not going to be an issue for me. But anyways, like I mentioned before, this is for a 2023 RC390. Okay, and I bought the entire kit from Coober to be able to get a little bit more horsepower from the RC390, and I bought the of course the most expensive kit they had. Okay, I figured why buy the exhaust or the this section here for the top of the lid on the air filter on the air box. Instead, I went out and bought the entire kit, which obviously includes everything: the top of the air box, the ECU piggyback, the cabling. You can see here it comes with the tie wraps, some Velcro, and the most important part, which I believe is probably one of the most important parts, the exhaust, the expensive exhaust that actually eliminates the catalytic converter. Okay, so came in nicely wrapped and with all the pieces I need. So all I got to say is that I can't wait to get it. According to a friend of mine, actually at the KTM dealership, he said I'd probably gain some 6 horsepower out of this, something like that. He has a 2021, I want to say, and he did a different exhaust and a different, I think he did a Power Commander on his bike, but on mine, obviously, everything comes in here like this. Someone claims that these are about, or you could find them for a couple of $100s. I don't know how long ago that was, but this particular piece right here, the way it stands just by itself, it's almost 400 bucks. Okay, and as you can see, it's got the dual chamber here, and it eliminates the catalytic converter altogether. Okay, so in combination with this, I should get about he claims about 6 horsepower. That is still yet to see, and with a combination of other things, you should be able to get some nice horsepower out of this single cylinder. Again, the RC390, this one, the 23 model. So anyways, I just wanted to get the installation going, and I can't wait to hear that exhaust with the Acropovic. Okay, that was actually one of the things, one of the reasons why I bought this, is to get it to sound to what the sound would be with the Acropovic exhaust. Okay, so I can't wait to hear that and see what occurs. Other than that, I'm actually, I could say that this particular thing here was close to 900 bucks, 874 to be precise. A lot of people will find it a little difficult to get this thing purchased, considering what it is. It is pricey, I have to say, and you could buy, I would think, other things that may actually justify the cost, if it's even possible, for some owners on the RC390. I do have other bikes, and I'm planning actually to get yet one more KTM. So once I get to that point, this one is going to become like a secondary bike for me, which is basically just to go around town. But anyways, just not to deviate from the video, let's get this thing started. This is not a difficult install by any means, and you will need the usual tools to be able to remove these, some Allen wrenches and so on. You should be able to get this thing installed pretty quickly. I mean, there's some bolts in here, some Allen wrenches here, some Allen bolting here. You'll remove that. The exhaust has 2 bolts. The this right here doesn't have to be relocated. The bung for the O2 sensor, it's in place. In this particular case, in this particular bike, you can see the catalytic converter as part of this exhaust. It's actually in the bottom, in here somewhere. Yeah, right there. So it will eliminate basically the ugly exhaust. That's actually, as you can see, a single piece, and the other one should actually allow for the computer to adjust better, having the two pipes next to each other instead of one single huge pipe in here, which this is. It's kind of like a crushed pipe, which allows all the gases to come out. The other one, I think it makes it sound different, a little bit different, because he has the two pipes. So I haven't seen this bike with that setup yet, so I have no idea how it's going to sound, especially with the Agropovic. So like I said, it's not a difficult install. Just take your time. We'll have to remove this section here, which you have a few screws, a few bolts here. So you'll remove this. This is hollow underneath, and you'll have an area where you could put the ECU in there, the piggyback, and there's a cable, and also for the spark plug. You should be able to run all that cabling properly through underneath of the tank, and everything else. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it. I'm not going to be showing step-by-step installation. Once I remove the certain pieces that need to be removed, I'll show that on part of the video, but I'm not going to show me taking screws out or anything like that. So I will show it after it's installed, and I will explain how I routed the cables, and that way I should be able to whoever does it should be able to figure it out as they go. I mean, nobody's going to take that particular project in their hands and say, hey, you know, I'm just going to install that. You need some possible technical ability, and you want to route the things properly. That way you don't end up with a burnt harness, which is obviously expensive. This comes with pretty much everything. As you can see, it's got everything for the ECU. You have to connect certain things to that portion there. You do have to ground this, and there's a screw on the other side that you can take out and then actually put that in. So you don't even have to do any type of modification to this cabling. Just basically bundle up the cable and put it right next to the tie wrap, and you're good to go. Everything should be pretty much there. One thing that this kit doesn't come with, it's the actual filter, and I am gonna get a high flow filter for this bike to basically compensate for some losses on the horsepower. At the same time, this particular bike, I know that with the piggyback, this will allow for the bike to rev higher. Okay, so eventually I will put a sprocket on this bike to make it speedier, or actually to make the speed be higher. So I don't really wheelie, or was planning to wheelie on this bike, so I will be replacing the sprocket. You could get actual sprockets, really nice sprockets made by Formula 390. I've actually brought them up before in this channel. So you could get a smaller sprocket, which I am gonna get, and the bigger sprocket for the front to make this bike gain a little bit of speed for me. The way it is set up right now, it will top out without over revving at about 75, maybe 80 miles an hour. And even though it doesn't sound like it's being pushed, considering this engine is nicely balanced for being a single cylinder, I think that it would benefit from a smaller sprocket in the rear, and also a larger sprocket in the front to give it more speed and lower the RPMs a little bit. This bike is already stable, and with this thing here, with the torque, it will actually allow me to change that sprocket and not make that much of a change. But at the same time, don't quote me on that one. I still need to test that theory. And other than that, let me just get the video going and go from there. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as you can see, the bike right now has the cal eliminated, the cal eliminator, the seat eliminator, right here, the carbon fiber one, and other stuff I've done to the bike. But little by little, it'll get to be exactly what I wanted this bike to be for. So other than that, let me keep this going. Okay, YouTube. So I paused for a moment. So I decided how far and what was the first step I decided to take before I got into dismantling the whole entire bike. So I chose to do the exhaust portion first, just in case it gets dark on me for some reason. I don't think it will be. But anyway, I just wanted to show how far I went as far as the things I removed, because there are different lengths screws, and I just wanted also to show real quick what I remove. As you can see, those are the sections and the tools I use. This one, this Allen I use, it's a number 4, and this socket here, it's a number 8 millimeter, okay, which I use to remove this bracket that sits in the front, just like this. Okay, so this portion here, actually, I'm just gonna put it like that for now, but that portion there holds this in place. Okay, and actually it goes like this, but here, let me see, it may actually, okay, so I mean, yeah, so I'll put it like that. So basically this portion here goes in the front, okay, and is held by these black screws that have the 4 millimeter Allen wrench right there. You can see it, and it has these spacers. Just be sure that you don't lose those. There's 4 of them, 2 in the bottom. Okay, as you can see, they come out from here, and the 2 on the top, which go there, and those are the ones that actually go there. So this will actually fit and sit like that, okay, towards the front. Okay, now the only other screw that came out of this, other than these, okay, this one, as you can see, it's longer. Okay, that one there holds this piece in the front. As you can see, it's got the hole for the bolt or for that screw, and he has the bottom hole. It's for the retaining pin. As you can see, it's right there. You can see it. Okay, that way that piece doesn't move after it's fastened to this bracket, and this bolt, this screw here, goes right there. Okay, and it actually goes right through that first, then through here, and then it stays once you fasten it. Okay, so just keep in mind that this bolt right here, these screws, actually have a specific way they go. That way you don't lose them. This one in particular, that long one, the reason why it's so long is because this bracket here, this one here, you could see that bolt it fits actually right there. You can see it where my thumb is. So it goes right there. That's where that retaining nut is, and it's you don't have to remove it or hold it in place. It's already welded to that bracket. So you could either keep the bolt in there not to lose it, but just keep in mind that's the long screw. That's the only long screw that you have. The other two, these two here, go in the front. One goes there, one goes there, and one goes there on the same bracket. Okay, so you could tell one hole there, and then the other hole is also there. It's on the bottom. Okay, and that will hold this together. You could see the holes, the retaining holes right there. Okay, those are the short ones, the little ones. Now the only other one, now all of these black ones are the same, the 4 for here, and then this one here goes on the back in this bracket. Okay, and that holds the other piece. This goes like this. Okay, and that's what's being held. Just keep in mind, don't lose these spacers, because I don't know how expensive they are, if you even care for them, But unless you're gonna remove that, which I won't, I mean, you want to keep that in there, in place. Okay, it protects this portion of the motor somewhat if you were to fall, I suppose, or hit something. I don't know. But I just wanted to stop real quick and show what I'm doing in that regard and what I decided to go with first, which is basically replacing the header. Okay, so I'm gonna do that first, just in case I cannot finish today. Like I said, most likely I'll finish the whole thing, but that's where I'm at right now. And just as a step by step, I would think that you can always reference the video back just in case you lose the screws or you don't know where they go, or oh gee, which one's the long one, which one's the short one, whatever. So that should at least do it. And that, by the way, number 8 and a number 4, like I mentioned. So let me continue. Thank you. Okay, YouTube. So further down the road, one quick observation, and I actually had a radiator protector also from R&G, which is basically the motif of this bike, is the parts I'm buying lately from R&G, twisted throttle, by the way. So basically, as you can see there, I installed it already because I'm already here removing the exhaust. So just an FYI, and unless you want to remove or loosen up the radiator, which you could, I guess, you know, just a 10 millimeter nuts right there, one here and one there. You could loosen that up, and you could actually move the radiator a little bit to be able to remove the exhaust. But in my case, I had a tool that looks like that. It's a bendy thing there. This one is a number 12, and you could pick that up at Lowe's, whatever. It doesn't have to be a Craftsman brand, which is what I use. But I noticed that is the tool to have, and that allowed me to basically, since you cannot put a straight socket in there, you have to bend it a little bit in order to remove one of the screws there that holds the exhaust in place. As you can see, it's way up there. So in order to get that out of there, which is really not super tight either, it's not super tight. So with this, you should be able to get that out, which I was able to do that no problem without moving the radiator, which I didn't really want to do that. Didn't want to loosen that up or anything. And also to loosen up the O2 sensor, I have one of these O2 sensor removing tools, which also proved to be quite an asset, because it's right there, and I didn't really want to put a wrench in there. It's actually kind of difficult to do that, but with this tool here, was super easy. It just goes around it. As you can see, it's open here, so you could pick one of these up on eBay for like $10, I think, or even the auto part, but they'll have them for like $20 or $30 actually. So you could pick one up on eBay, wait a few days and get one. This one doesn't have the size, interestingly enough, but I just looked them up as an O2 sensor tool, and this came up. There's only a few of them. The one that looks like this, which is only this one, I believe. I wish I could put the link in the description. If I find it, I'll put it there. That way you guys can buy one if you like. But it comes in handy. I actually use this on my Nissan. So I guess if you look for 2002 Nissan Xterra O2 sensor tool, that will come up. So that's one way to find it if you want to do it right away without me posting the link for you guys. But that definitely came in handy. And this right here. In my case, one quick thing I wanted to mention, other than the radiator cover, which I actually slid right in there, and whoever is doing the either the R&G brand or even some of the eBay brands, just to kind of like stop here for a second and deviate, go on a tangent, this just fits right there. It comes in with like this tie wraps that you could put on the ends, but as you can see, this is actually, because it fits right behind this, and it has the rubber standoffs that go in there. There's 6 of them. two on each side, and then in the middle it has two and two more on that side. Those six standoffs that are rubber that go against the radiator itself actually allow this to fit in so snug that you don't need, at least I'm not going to install them, those tie wraps, which would be kind of difficult to put through there anyway. And even I noticed putting that, sliding that in there with the tie wraps was kind of like a pain. So I just took them off, and this actually aligns perfectly with the edges on each side, and it doesn't move. It doesn't move. And once you put the four bolts that you can see right here, these 4 bolts hold the section up here on the radiator cover that came from a KTM, the OEM one. So once you put that in there, this is not going to move, and that's not going to come out. And even if we moved a little bit, it will hit the exhaust, which I don't think is going to anyway. There's a bit of space in there, as you can see. There's just there's like a quarter of an inch or something in there, but it's not going to hit it. So that's actually a really nice piece. It just helps the radiator be protected against rocks or whatever may go in there. Hopefully it's not going to allow overheating on the bike, which I know for sure the Coober ECU will prevent, because of the mixture is going to be different. So I am aware that the Coober ECU will allow this bike to actually run a little cooler instead of getting hot like when you stop on a light or whatever. So I can wait to see those results, and I will post them on the video or whatever. But I just wanted to show the two tools I use. This right here, this thing here for the O2 sensor, and this tool here to remove the exhaust. And one of the sockets is like maybe $6. If you find them at Lowe's, it'd be like $7 or something like that. Or just buy one on eBay, a knockoff made in China or whatever, and it will work the same to remove that particular nut for the exhaust. So I will continue and go from there. Oh, one quick thing before I forget, the O2 sensor, I actually did loosen it up. I did not remove the exhaust yet because I want to unplug the plug from the O2 sensor. I don't want to spin it because I don't want to damage the cable up here. So I'm going to leave that there. I just loosened up the stuff for the exhaust. I'm going to loosen up the bottom over there next to that resonator can or whatever it's called. So once I do that and I unplug this will all come out, and then I will be able to install the Coober exhaust. So even if I don't do the piggyback today, I will actually do the exhaust, but I want to be sure I unplug the O2 sensor first. Okay, so just wanted to note that out, just in case you guys think this is like a walk in the park type of install. It will take you some time. You have to be patient. Obviously I'm doing the camera thing with this, so you just have to be patient and have enough daylight, not a rainy day or whatever. Okay, so let me continue and go from there. Okay, YouTube, so price them all back. So as you can see on the RC390, I've actually taken the tank out. I had to remove the plastic retainer for the unit here. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this is the I would think would be the ECU, if I'm not mistaken. So that had to be removed from here before I removed the tank. Took out the retainers on the side to be able to remove it. There's a couple of bolts in there, one there and one there. Okay, also I had to remove a grounding cable from here, which this is where the other grounding cable for the harness will go. Okay, so as you can see, I had to remove that portion in the front for the tank. So as you can tell, in order to remove the O2 sensor cable, which is down here, which at this point I'm uncertain as to what it would have to be removed or not, but most likely I will have to unplug it anyways to remove it from the exhaust, which would be my next step. But I also have to remove the fuel lines, which are just plug-ins. I also had to remove these two hoses, one here and one here from the back of the tank, and it was pretty simple to take out. I mean, just have either a helper or a rag available to be able to put on the top, that way you don't get anything scratched. And it should be pretty simple. You will have to undo this tie wrap here, okay, and that one there, that way you could expose the cabling and be able to do that harness there, which nothing has to be cut or removed. It's just a plug and play type of thing. The only thing you have to do is that particular ground, which, like I said, will go here with the other one. Okay, so that should be pretty much it. And since I'm already doing all of this, what I will do is that once I can get the O2 sensor taken care of, what I'll do is that I will take that harness, plug it in, remove the O2 sensor, then install the exhaust, start up the video one more time. That way I can show you what I did and then continue from there. Okay.